안녕하세요 여러분, Tony입니다. Hello everyone, it's Tony. So today marked the first mini album release titled Cherry Rush for group Cherry Bullet. And when I first heard this, I was very surprised because last year when we first reacted to them being Hands Up, which if you want to go find out on the channel, I'll leave it linked in the description box below. Hopefully you do check it out. I thought that that was like kind of something that they were leading up to. They had already released a first ever mini album because they've been releasing a lot of music videos, a lot of tracks, and the last comeback was Ao No Way. But I had no idea that this meant that they had not yet released a actual mini album. And at the time when Hands Up was released, it was actually when the group downsized to 7 members. So it's been around, I believe, almost like a year and a half, 2 years almost, that they had yet to release a first ever mini album, which is a huge surprise to me. And I guess this one is really why I kind of want to look into it. This music video is going to be titled Love So Sweet, and in comparison to say Hands Up, I think it's very different. It's probably going to be more in that bubblegum pop vibe, and from the teasers it's something that's like kind of there, and I was really intrigued by the actual sound that I heard. And I'm assuming that this is maybe a bit more of a kind of like follow-up to what was Ao No Way, which I did not actually react to or even hear, but I can only assume it was very different from Hands Up also. Hands Up was, by the way, one of my favorite songs from that time when I actually heard it, and I had actually replayed it quite a bit. It was very different, very kind of like just unique, I think, and it was really just kind of catchy to me. So without further ado, let's get into the group that it's been a while for, but I'm looking so forward to it. Love So Sweet by Cherry Bullet. Let's go. Like okay, yeah. Do you have lyrics? Love So Sweet. Yeah, this is why I remember hearing this part, like this kind of like funky, psychedelic kind of electronic guitar beat in the beginning really hooked me. It might be actually a piano, but like even the whispering is like, "That's so sweet." Like, oh, fast pace. Oh, G1. It almost has that kind of like retro funk beat to it, but then there's some modern elements here because they're like the bass is kind of like boom 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 boom, that like that, because if not I feel like it'd be more like a psychedelic vibe to it. 20. Love dub dubla. It's beating like a drum. Wait. Make me feel excited. Shh. I'm really impressed with this overall just instrumentality. Very smooth. So you start off with a high voice and then you come into what is, it's like a soft intro, like we get the drums and everything, but it's like a smooth transition into what is this pre-chorus and then into what is the chorus. Lump dum lump dum. So it's like nice vocals, very solid vocals. It's a slow, and there's even a trumpet in the background. Shh. Cut everything out, reset it. I'm actually quite a fan of the musicality of this already. It's a very kind of like just maybe not different, but very catchy. I love the element of this like trumpet in the background that we hear. Very nice in my opinion. Oh, I like me a good kind of like muted background tone, and then even this like bass tone, like the reminds me a bit of like Billie Eilish's Monster, kind of like the pacing of that. It's very nice. Shh. Da, 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 da. See, like even things like this, like da da da, like sometimes these type of filler things I'm not too big a fan of, But here they really make it work because it's not just like straight up that. There's like this kind of repeating bass like dun 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 dun, and then there's also the whistling. So there's like multiple elements happening at the same time, like the whistling here. So it feels like it's more of an evolved sound than just like a simple da da da, to fill up space. This the like symbol. I like how every time they do a verse, they go into something soft and then they'll transition into something that's like much kind of like more vibrant. They'll start it off kind of slowly and like work their way into it. It's like very kind of like simplistic, I think, approach to the song, but it really works because you have something super dynamic and then you cut out everything, reset it, and then we have like no expectation for what's to come. So it's like really kind of working its way back up for us. And I like that kind of like framework that they're using. Very, very nice. And vocalists, very powerful, very nice. Everything has been really fun to listen to. You make me feel excited. Shh, shh. Na, 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 la la la, so sweet. Shh. Love, love, so sweet. Da 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 da. Shh. There's a rap part here? Okay. Okay. So it's like the same thing. They cut everything out. Shh. But then instead of transitioning to pure just emptiness kind of, and then resetting everything, they're kind of just like taking that and leading it into a different pace because they have a rapper. That was unexpected, and I'm quite a fan of it. Ooh. The rapping here is actually really nice contrast to the entire kind of like slow pace that we have of the song. It really matches more the tempo of this actual kind of beat from the music and the bass. Really a big fan. It really matches everything, so it's a cool contrast to what's been happening so far. So sweet. Woo! The vocals! Love, 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 sweet. Love, 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 so. I also realized why it just stands out for me. Their voices in particular are a bit kind of like higher pitched tone. It's kind of like what I noticed with like say group Ijuan. Some of their members have a very like pitched up tone or voice, so it really brings forward their voices in comparison to everybody else. And in this case, that's the exact same thing because a lot of the members when they first start the song or their part, they have a similar kind of like higher tone, so it just really stands out for me, and that's really really good in this case because it's a really fun song. La 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 la, so sweet. Da da. We love ourselves a good muted beat at the end. Da da da. 너무해. Cute. Ooh, the electric guitar at the end. Wow. Big surprise. Honestly, a really, really fun song, and all the reason more now why I remember why I really enjoy this group. Their songs are very like catchy, very just a general surprise when you think about like Hands Up. Hands Up was kind of like that swaggery kind of badass vibe song, but here I'm assuming that after Ao No Way, I remember it kind of being a bit more girly, a bit more kind of like this. They really went into like the bubblegum pop kind of vibe. And it's interesting because right now there's a lot of people doing the girl crush concept. but they're not really doing like the sweet bubblegum pop vibe. Here, I think they kind of found like an in between because they are kind of like a more mature group. It's not like they're debuting or anything. They have been out for quite a bit. And I think that this song kind of perfectly encapsulates something what they're going for. It's even kind of like up to this font. It's not super girly. It's a bit more refined, a bit more mature. And I think the sound is kind of a representation of that. Still very fun, catchy, light, vibrant, girly, but at the same time, a bit more refined, a bit kind of like with the bass has a bit more texture to it. A bit kind of like I would say the bass at least kind of gives me that like Billie Eilish vibe, especially the parts where it's like muted out. But overall, it's a very nice song by Cherry Bullet. Another unexpected one from Cherry Bullet, and I really am excited to see what more this group brings because I remember originally they were more than seven, and last time when I looked at Hands Up is when they were seven members. So I'm curious if this first mini album is with them as a new seven member group, or if this is actually just straight up their first ever mini album. But that's besides the point. I cannot wait to check out what more they have. And if you want to go check out, by the way, my reaction to Hands Up, it'll be linked in the description box below. Hopefully you check it out. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. 감사합니다. And as always, if you have any comments, questions, or something you want to talk, feel free to leave it in the comment section below, and I'll get to it as soon as possible. With that being said, guys, this has been Tony. 안녕히 계세요. Goodbye, and I'll see you in the next video.